Right, we've got John Wroblewski here, so please use the raise hand function and we'll begin. We'll start off with Jesse Cohn.
I think a baker's dozen worth of games. Trade deadline for the NHL is tomorrow. I know that you don't have any control over that, but I'm just curious, in a weird season like this one has been, how are you going to define success in the remaining games left on the schedule?
Once again, I think, for us, we don't have the luxury, I think, of looking at the macro or having those team goals. I think at this point we're still struggling to find an identity on a daily basis, whether that means that there's been roster fluctuation or even just within house players having an identity of their own and playing consistently. And until we get individuals playing consistently and everything else like that, we're gonna have a very difficult time having any type of team goal, which can propel us forward. I think we're still struggling to get individuals going. So as far as team goals are concerned, it's to get the most out of each guy each day, and we're having a tough time getting that on a consistent basis.
To that end, any of the individuals that weren't in the lineup today close to returning?
We're hopeful for a few of them. There's a lot of guys sort of in a holding pattern that if they can get through tomorrow, we might be looking at the likes of a Byfield, Fajimo, Smith Pelly come Tuesday. But they do have to get through another practice tomorrow and make sure that their ailments are up to snuff.
All right, thank you.
Yep, you bet, Jess.
Next up is Patrick Williams.
Coach, are you finding that there are some players that are for lack of a better word, kind of getting a rude awakening about what pro hockey really is all about?
I don't know if it's a rude awakening. I think it's I definitely think that there's belief in the realization. I think we need to keep pushing these guys though to recognize that they do belong here. They are capable of this, and so at this point of the season, we'll be going 27 games coming up here. We've got to make sure that these guys are no longer there's no excuses either at this point. They need to adapt. They need to adapt quickly. They need to recognize that when they play the right way, when they have the right preparation, when they're prepared to go mentally and physically, that they belong in this league. And so those hard lessons, Patrick, I don't think should be learned anymore. There shouldn't be the hard realization that this league is very difficult. It should be something that we embrace on a nightly basis, and one that you look at as a challenge to overcome. Instead of, I don't believe that anyone in there wants it the easy way, but if that's kind of what you're getting to with that question, these guys are expecting that it's a difficult league to play in at this point, and they need to just be ready to bring their best every night, because when they do bring that, they've proven to be capable players in the American League. But that consistency is certainly the mark of a professional.
Yeah, I just meant more in the sense that sometimes players think they're working hard and they're up to the standard, but they're not really at that standard. I guess as a follow-up to that, when players aren't getting the results that they'd like to get, how much harder does that make it for you to keep selling the message, you need to do this, this, and this, when they're not getting those results?
I think it's interesting. I think that has to come with bolstering the players' confidence, whether that's them believing in themselves or us propelling them to have that belief. And confidence is paramount for success. And to go along with that, the confidence needs to be earned, and it needs to be earned often. And that comes on and off the ice with their practice habits, how they carry themselves around the rink, and everything in between. That a lot of times that'll show up at game time. If you do the right things consistently, it's gonna show up. And so, I think that guys, we're doing. I think the best job we can to make sure that guys have that confidence to play a team game, to play their individual game, but also to make sure that they're keeping their spirits up when things aren't going the right way. It is a massive juggling challenge, especially when you're dealing with as many guys in and out of the lineup and young players as we do have.
Thanks, Coach.
But
Next up is John Hoven.
John, sorry if you already answered something similar to this. I missed the first couple of questions there, but
no problem.
with these three games coming up here in a hurry, is that maybe a good thing or is it a bad thing in the sense that you guys don't have a lot of practice time, in between, and it's going to be bang, bang, bang. You're going to have some games.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think that one that most teams that are struggling for consistency are probably are going through, whether it's National League or our league, something as simple as I thought our neutral zone passing today, for an example, was very slow, lethargic, and without purpose. And then when you kind of you're talking about why aren't we moving the puck quicker? And you bank on the fact that you've had 5D in practice and you haven't had the continuity of a lineup and being able to say, this is what our plan is. And, you're trying to check off how many boxes in scouting reports and things like that. So you are onto something with the lack of practice time. There's a nice blend in that, yes, we get to get back on the horse, but getting back on the horse without being able to reinforce certain mantras, thought processes. How do we get from point A to B, the dominoes falling in succession? There's a lot of things that go into that, and we're certainly, today was an example of us not having connective tissue and us being, I thought, completely off base. It was started with our defensive zone coverage in the first period. It cost us on one goal. It might not have shown up as apparent on as watching on the video as it did in house. So we were off. We were just off. Guys weren't filling the right spots. They weren't communicating properly, and a lot of that comes with with practice and practice time, or playing the right way and being able to bank on it. We haven't been doing any of those things consistently.
Certainly don't want to over dramatize one game, but
No.
knowing that it's usually more difficult to move from wing to center than it is from center to wing. How did Turk adjust today, moving back into the middle?
Yeah, I thought in the dot, he gave us an honest effort in the face-off circle, but still need a few more clean wins, I would say. And there was just one or two defensive zone items that I'd like him to recharge on and to consider going into his into Tuesday's contest. But I think that tonight's or this afternoon's it was an interesting game for him, and one that I think that he'll be able to get his feet wet again coming through the middle of the ice. And he started to, I thought, found it a little bit in the third period, and he'll start to feel more at home again, like he has in the past.
I mean, one last one for you. Just did a guy like Matt Luff, did he give you enough energy today coming off the road trip with the Kings, having not been around the team for a couple of days, but someone who was highly productive offensively, in his previous 3 games for you?
Yeah, I thought I'd have to go back and watch a little bit closer with Luffer, but I thought he had the puck on his stick a lot. So if the energy game from him might not have been where it sometimes is, because he had the puck a lot too. So he wasn't necessarily chasing it very often. So Luffer gave us a bunch of quality touches, and we love having him. Just keep helping grow his game, and we'll help him get between the dots a little bit more. Hopefully, get himself into some more scoring chances, because he does command the puck. And let's get him into the grade A area, into the house spot, and be able to find some rebounds and utilize that shot that he's got.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course.
All right, thank you. That's it for tonight.
All right. Thanks, guys.